things set here. Oh, okay. We are already recording. We're just jumping right into it. Hi, Susan.
How are you?
I am very well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited for today's show. I'm very
Same.
excited because we don't talk about this. We talk about people's health.
Yeah.
And so talking animal health is super amazing for me because there's so many we can even branch off into not only animal health, but like we're going into farm animals. We can even talk a little bit about plant life because a lot of farmers and what have you, like this is so
Yeah.
fantastic for the farming community. I wish I had my picture of my friend's eggs. She had collected eggs from her animals. She's giving them hydrogen water and she gives them hydrogen baths, and her chickens are growing eggs. Like the difference in size is like this to this. And she sent me a picture. I can't find it, unfortunately, but next time we'll post it. I will pull
Yeah.
that one up.
This
Yes,
is
so this is exciting.
yeah. This is exciting. I love talking about animals. I mean, I've always loved animals, and their health is just as important as our health. Their water quality is just as important as ours. I've got a cat that actually drives my wife nuts because he is annoying in his own ways, but he's also a very sweet cat that is 15 years old this year, and not only having properly filtered water, but having hydrogen in his water is definitely led to living a very healthy life. And he may be 15 years old, but he acts like he's a kitten still, running around, and I play with him and with toys and stuff. And he lets my son pet him and stuff. But the quality of water and the benefits of hydrogen apply to animals just as much as they apply to humans. They apply to mammals. And so, I mean, a lot of studies actually are done on animals, and in the very first, the initial forms of it. Before that, I mean, that's how science goes. It goes from in vitro, just petri dish studies to animal studies to human studies, and there's more and more human studies coming out, which is great because obviously we want to benefit both. But if it benefits humans, it will likely benefit the animals, the mammals, and in that's in hydrogen's case. That's not for everything. That's not going to apply to vitamin C necessarily, or other traditional antioxidants, which I recommend as a whole suite of antioxidants that help your overall health. Um, One of the things that I really do love about hydrogen is it's safe as well. Um, it is a very unique antioxidant. It's the only thing that can permeate cell membranes and get past the blood-brain barrier. And again, it helps for animals in the same way it helps for us. So let's actually take a look. I got a few studies brought up here. I'm going to share the screen and go right into this one. I didn't have a chance to look too much into it yet, but I knew it was good enough for us to look through together here. And so this is from 2016. So this one's 10 years old. So things have advanced quite a bit since then. But this is a study that has been done in the U.S. primarily. the abstract is here we review the literature on the effects of molecular hydrogen on normal human subjects and patients with a variety of diagnoses, such as metabolic, rheumatic, cardiovascular, and neurodegenerative and other diseases, infections, and physical and radiation damage, as well as effects on aging and exercise. Although the effects of H2 have been studied in multiple animal models of human disease, such studies will not be reviewed in depth here. H2 can be administered as a gas in saline implants or infusions, as topical solutions or baths, or by drinking H2 enriched water. This latter method is the easiest and least costly method of administration. There are no safety issues with hydrogen. It has been used for years in gas mixtures for deep diving and in numerous clinical trials without adverse events. And there are no warnings in the literature of its toxicity or long-term exposure effects. Molecular hydrogen has proven useful and convenient as a novel antioxidant and modifier of gene expression in many conditions where oxidative stress and changes in gene expression result in cellular damage. So before we get going into another study, that was just the abstract of that one. I do want to talk about how there's no adverse effects to using too much hydrogen or using it for too long. Right now, I'm inhaling 2 liters for every minute of hydrogen through my nose. I'm drinking, this would be roughly 0.8 milligrams, because it would be about half a liter, and I know that there's 1.6 milligrams per liter in here. And so I'm getting basically my daily dose of hydrogen right here during the recording of this episode. That's because I have the tools and ability to get that level of hydrogen in such a short period of time. But I've also drank 2 liters or so of hydrogen-rich water because I've been up since 4 and was at the gym at 5, and that's the way that I start my day. But again, I can because I have the tools that help me keep up to that type of lifestyle. And so, I mean, the safety is something that I talk a lot about with hydrogen. It's aside from its ability to selectively scavenge the hydroxyl and peroxynitrate, which free radicals, its ability to get anywhere it needs to get to, through your skin, through your cell membrane, through your blood-brain barrier. I will mention that over and over again because it is extremely important. But my favorite thing about molecular hydrogen is its safety. And so when I created the research tab that I'm going to share with you right now on tech4health.ca, one of my favorite parts of it, I mean, it's got all of these different categories. I mean, we've got, just with these over 30 different categories, that here alone we've got multitudes of episodes we can still do, Susan. But I love Ray coming up here, the safety profile. Look at the amount of studies there are based just on the safety of molecular hydrogen alone. I love that about it. I talk a lot about how I bathe my 1.5-year-old son every night in hydrogen-rich water. I give him hydrogen-rich water to drink. I've actually seen TikTok videos and videos of parents, and it's like they have such a tough time getting their kids to drink water. My son will waterboard himself. He loves water so much. So maybe it's not that your kids don't like water. It's that your kids aren't drinking the right type of water, and I know that. And so, I mean, my hydration is not an issue.
Well, not just people, it's the animals, right? So it's like my cat. One of my cats, when we first got her, she was bald on her bum, and she was agitated, and we got her on so many creams. The creams weren't helping her. They were irritating her. and I didn't even realize this, but she just started drinking the water, and she loves sniffing it. She loves sniffing hydrogen,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just started fluffing up. And whatever was going on in her body, it was helping her to overcome it, whether it be an anxiety thing or it be an allergy thing or whatever. It was helping with whatever we were doing because it wasn't working alone. So it helped and enhanced whatever it was we were using, and now we were like in a good zone. Now my cat's Fluffy. She's great. She loves sniffing the hydrogen. My other cat, my new cat, loves hydrogen. Is starting to do the same thing. Sniff at the machine. Just loves the machine. As soon as I have the water going, or um, just comes right up and starts sniffing away at it, and wants to get in my cup. We can't leave our glasses out anymore. It's just not happening anymore. They take them.
Yeah, I
With
mean,
that said, also great
but
for chickens and horses,
yeah,
chickens, my friend's chickens, she, her chickens only, for the most part, chickens, especially here in Canada, I guess they slow down in the winter with their production and what have you. And her chickens' eggs were like this size, like they were
yeah.
small, homegrown eggs, you know, and then she got her animals with the hydrogen water, and all of a sudden her eggs are going to like double the size. And she sends me this picture, and she's like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And she started bathing them in the water so that they're good and clean, and that they have whatever, like, just
But
amazing.
yeah, that'll open the animal's natural redox pathways, because that, just like with humans, the skin is the largest organ, it's the largest detoxing organ, and so again, hydrogen's ability to permeate your skin becomes very, very valuable there.
And
And again, there are more studies that are done. I found a couple, one just on animals specifically. So I'm going to go ahead again and share my screen to the therapeutic effects of oral intake on cutaneous wound healing in dogs. And so again, with this, I'm just going to briefly go through the abstract. This study explored the effects of drinking hydrogen-rich water on skin wound healing in dogs. 8 circular wounds were analyzed in each dog. The experimental group was treated with HRW hydrogen-rich water thrice daily, so 3 times, while the control group was provided with distilled water. The wound tissues of dogs were examined histopathologically. The fibroblasts, inflammatory self-infiltration, the average number of new blood vessels, and the level of malondialdehyde, or MDA, and superoxide dismutase activity in the skin homogenate of the wound was measured using the corresponding kits. Just fast forward here. I mean, I can share the link with you on this, or you can Google this yourself. Go to scholar.google and .com, or you can look into PubMed, and all of these studies are on there. This is, like I always say, don't believe a word I say, research what I say. Anyways, HRW treatment promoted skin wound healing in dogs, accelerated wound epithelialization, reduced inflammatory reaction, stimulated the expression of cytokines related to wound healing, and shortened wound healing time. As always, hydrogen makes everything better. And then there's one other one that I actually came by that I'm probably not going to purchase this book. No, well, maybe in the future, but it's a $100 textbook. If I wanted to buy the real book, probably be about $170 or so. I did find another book from them though, called one second. It's called the Molecular Hydrogen as Medicine, and so I am ordering that book. That I will.
Very cool.
Yeah. But in this book, you fast forward to page 378, and it says many plants, insects, animals, and also humans have developed a mutual relationship with H2 producing bacteria, which they use to their advantage. The cellular biological availability of H2 can be very high due to its unique physical and chemical properties. What have I said before? Oh, yeah. Its small size, low weight, neutral charge, and nonpolar nature, along with its high diffusion rate, allows it to easily penetrate cellular biomembranes and diffuse into mitochondria and the nucleus. So this is going to be beneficial for all mammals, again, in the regulation of your mitochondrial function, supporting that, and it's not only the ATP production, but cleaning up of the exhaust from the ATP production, the exhaust from the energy being used in your cells, just like the exhaust from your car. It's making sure that the energy being used in your body isn't going and polluting the rest of your cells and the rest of your body. And so H2 is the smallest molecule with a covalent radius of 31 pm, which is less than half the size of an oxygen gas molecule. It is the lightest known molecule. Since it is electrically neutral and has low polarization, it is relatively insoluble in water. At standard temperature, ambient temperature and pressure, water can be saturated with H2 up to a concentration of 1.6 milligrams per liter, which I mentioned earlier is what I'm drinking from this water here. However, it is 3 to 5 times more soluble in lipids. Unlike other substances, it is completely non-toxic, making it very safe, like I've mentioned. Hydrogen has been used since the 1940s to prevent decompression sickness and deep sea diving. No toxicity has been found, even at concentration significantly above clinically effective doses. So again, we can read through all of this, or I can share you the link, or you can look this stuff up yourself. But it's all just kind of nodding to the point of what I'm saying, that could also be applied with animals. Is that I'm breathing in 2 liters a minute. So we just hit the 17-minute mark in this recording, and I've been breathing the hydrogen pretty much the entire time. And so that's 34 liters of hydrogen that I've gotten in the last 17 minutes. That is well over what I need, and I know that it is completely, totally safe and okay for me to continue to breathe it in. I love it.
So, speaking of breathing in, I'm very excited because you have masks for animals.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Yes, we do.
I'm really excited to talk about this because this is like so cool.
We are the only company that has the hydrogen inhalation machine that also has and includes a mask for small or medium to large size dogs. So we've got a few different things that have happened with that. My business partner Louis has a little Jack Russell, a little Chihuahua, and very small dogs. They only need to breathe it in for 2 to 3 minutes, which is awesome because getting the dog to actually sit there and breathe in the hydrogen can be a bit of a challenge, but it is also very, very doable. And so, the point that should be taken from this is not only can they breathe it, but they should also be drinking it and being bathed in it. And so where that really benefits is, especially with dogs that have gut issues, which end up being a lot of dogs because of probably the water that they're drinking, and a lot of the garbage food that they unfortunately are subject to eating. But when you bathe the dogs in them, that's going to be really particularly good for medium to large size dogs, because those dogs will typically have hip and joint issues. And so when you're bathing them, just like it's going to help with hip and joint issues, like it does with humans, it's going to help immensely for the doggos and their hip and joint issues. If especially for the smaller dogs, though, if you can get them breathing
and skin issues. and
Mhm.
skin issues. A lot
Sorry,
of
you know what?
affinity,
That's a big one. I'm gonna actually make a post
a
about that.
lot of
That is
skin allergies, and a lot of
One
yeah.
alopecia is a common one. We have a few customers that have the Tech Pro 900. They bought it for themselves now. They bought it for their dog, but now they're benefiting from it themselves as well. But we got two customers that bought on the same day, basically, that have had little white Pomeranians, little 5 pound Pomeranians that had alopecia. Just big, huge bald patches all over. One was basically almost all bald, and their hair is grown back. It's fluffy. They're looking great and vibrant and healthy. And that's the same type of things that I love to see with humans when they start seeing the benefits of hydrogen. And so, I mean, almost every episode that we've recorded could also be applied essentially to animals,
Yes.
and so it's just it becomes how much, and when I say how much, I don't mean how much is the maximum. I mean how much is the minimum, because again, there are no real maximums to it. They can drink as much hydrogen-rich water as they want. They can bathe in it as much as they want. They can breathe as much hydrogen gas in it as they want. What I mean about the minimums is, like I said, for my business partner Louis' small dogs, a Chihuahua or a Jack Russell, they're only going to need a small amount, whereas a bigger dog's going to need a little bit more. Whereas a horse is going to need a bigger machine. And so that's where we introduced the Tech Pro Clinical Series. I have a Clinical Series machine in my office. I mean, that's the one that is right here. And as mentioned, it's called the Tech Pro 3000 because it does 2,000 milliliters a minute of hydrogen and 2,000 or 1,000 milliliters per minute of oxygen. Because what's happening is the distilled water that is inside the machine, the pure H2O, is being split into hydrogen and oxygen gas. Of course, it's H2O. So there's going to be two for every oxygen. There's going to be two hydrogens. That's why we get 2,000 milliliters per minute of hydrogen gas and 1,000 milliliters per minute of oxygen gas. We have machines that will do 6,000 milliliters per minute, double what this does at 4,000 milliliters or 4 liters a minute of hydrogen and 2 liters a minute of oxygen. Those are very serious machines that can be used in clinical settings, veterinary and equestrian settings. They can be used for sports teams. That's not going to be a machine that I'm going to recommend that you get for your home.
Well, speaking of sports, it was a while ago. I can't remember what avenue they took with the hydrogen. You guys can look it up. I'm sure you'll find it. But they were saying that with horses, with the running, they can get stronger torso, as well as it helps with the inflammatory things. So I guess it helps with the inflammatory. I guess there's certain markers. Yeah, so it brings that down, but it also helps for running, I guess, when they're racing. So it helps with strengthening the torso, which is a really big thing when you're racing. It helps them get that, you know, that proper movement, and they're able to accelerate better. So there are a few studies on that I've done. So please look it up if you have racing horses. Just look it up, Google it. You'll find it with medical research that backs it. If you need help, we can always help you out, either Shane or myself. We can definitely help you out.
That's what I want. What I'm here for is to just help you make an informed decision for you, your family, your horses, your animals, your clinic, for the health all around. And then it's not, it's here, buy this, see you later. That's when my job really becomes important, and that's what I love is the follow up and making sure that we're using it, you're using it to the best of its ability. And so that's when you're going to get more. Yeah, exactly. I want you to use it to its fullest potential. I want you to really, truly experience the benefits of hydrogen, because I've experienced them in many different ways. And when you have the ability to do all methods of application with one beautiful machine that goes in your home, clinic, or farm or veterinary clinic. We've got a solution for everyone. Even if you're just starting out and want to try out like the hydrogen bottles or the tablets, we're here to, as you mentioned, Susan, we're here to help and get you set up with the right solution for the problems that you're trying to address or prevent. That's the key that we do emphasize here at Tech for Health and as the H2 water expert, is being proactive and preventative with your health. At one point or another, you are going to need to invest in your health. It is much.
There's many options.
Yeah,
there's many tools and many options. There's one thing though that's different with you is that you do a lot of testing on your machines, and you make sure that you're selling the right ones, and that's what I appreciate about you. So it's it's very important. You can buy a lot of these things. They're available now. Everybody's got something. It's where you get it from and what the product is either made of or what it's producing. Everybody says that it's going to produce, and you can explain this a little better because you do the testing on it. You buy the bottles, and they say, oh, you're going to get hydrogen water, but are they really getting their hydrogen water? Let's talk about it.
There's a lot of variables to all methods of hydrogen therapy and hydrogen application, and that's something that we do take very seriously before any of these products go on to the website, where we make sure that they're tested by a third party that has a proper testing ability, chromatography, and ways that we're going to get a authentic, non-influenced answer on what's going on, and then we test them ourselves. We are very much a product of our products, and again, obviously, I use it consistently. But the last thing I want with what I'm seeing on the hydrogen market, especially with those little bottles, is that they're not creating any hydrogen at all. In fact, in some cases you're increasing chlorine contents. In some cases there's heavy metals that are leaching into the water, and they're producing the bubbles. It looks like there's hydrogen, but it's actually not. And people will say, "Oh, I tried hydrogen water and it didn't do anything." It's like, well, maybe you didn't try hydrogen water. And so, again, that is something at Tech for Health that we take very seriously. You can check out our products at tech4health.ca. You can also follow us on Instagram at Tech4Health Products. You can follow me personally at H2 Water Expert, also on Instagram. That is where I do a lot of my promotion, and not promotion, but education. And that's really the goal for me with that platform and all of my platforms, is just to educate people. And just a reminder that if you do visit tech4health.ca, when you visit tech4health.ca, because you're going to use that as a tool to do your research, as I showed you earlier. And when you're ready to go ahead with a product that is going to create the hydrogen for you in the way that makes most sense for you, which may require a conversation with myself or Louie or Susan, as she mentioned, as I always mention, we're happy to do so. I love talking to my customers, getting to know them, and so that I can help you in the best way possible. But if you do go to tech4health.ca and see something that you like, make sure that you use the coupon code HydroGlow10. That will give you 10% off of all of your products on orders over $100. And we got products under $100 that will make it easy for you to start on your hydrogen journey. But, we also do have the products to create every different method of hydrogen in the best ways possible, the most powerful ways possible, and the most affordable ways possible. So as a reminder to anybody that is out there shopping, if you're Canadian, this helps. If you're US, this really helps. Our prices are in Canadian, and also we do process orders and facilitate orders all around the world. We have customers from Australia to Hawaii and everywhere in between. And I'm not just talking about, from Australia to Hawaii in the Pacific Ocean there. We are setting up clinics all over the world. We have multiple clinics in the US now. We're setting up clinics in Lebanon, Greece, Australia, Japan, all as we speak, and more. So if you are a clinic owner and are interested in incorporating hydrogen therapy into your practice, it is a phenomenal way to help more people in more ways, and the operation of a machine like this is next to nothing once you have it in your office and set up. It's just a matter of making sure that the hydrogen, or that you have the distilled water in it so that it can create the gases, and then the machine does it itself. It's really a phenomenal product to help increase your capacity to help people, as well as increase that bottom, or the profit margins that you're bringing in too. So,
you know what? With that said, it's like I use it in my head spa, right? So I incorporate hydrogen therapy in my head spa. I use it in their hair. I use it on skincare, and I'm trying to get people to understand the abilities of it, and honestly, it's been great. It's been great for hair growth. It's been great for I see a lot of things happening. With hydrogen, and like you're saying, and like I'm saying, it works in clinics. It works in clinics. You can go with dental. You can go in massage therapy, chiropractic, anywhere. You can even use it. You can incorporate it if you're on cancer treatment. There's so many things that we can assist you with bringing into your doctor, that you can actually have that connection with your doctor, because it's so important to work with your doctors. Let them be aware. Not every, we live in North America. Our system here has been very different, but hydrogen has been making a big thing in North America, and not everybody's got the memo yet. So it's like giving them that knowledge as well. Give your doctors that knowledge so that they can expand their research as well, because those are going to be, the people working with you, trying to get you in that really good, healthy situation, working with your medications. They want to make sure that you're using it healthy and properly, especially if you're using medication. We like to stress that out. When you're using medication, while you're taking your pills, you cannot take it within an hour before and an hour after. They say a half an hour. I like to say an hour. You can take it with vitamins, just not medication. We don't want it breaking down or bringing it to its full whatever, because some things are time released. That's why it's so important. Let's get our doctors on board. We can give you the papers, the research. You can look it up, and you give it to them, and then they help you out. With that
I agree.
give it for your animals. Bring it into your vets. Talk to your veterinarians about it. We can help you out, and you can tell them, hey, let's look it up, because these are avenues that we can help to enrich our healthcare. This is actually enriching it and helping it. We're enhancing it at this point, right? So.
Absolutely. I mean, again, as I mentioned before, as I've mentioned many, many times, don't believe a word that we say. Research what we say, and this is all for educational purposes, not intended as medical advice. Please do have these conversations with the doctors and have them research it, because that information is all out there and readily available for anybody that's looking for it, including myself and yourself. So that is all for today's episode, as we've gotten everything that we needed to get covered in this, and I am excited for this one. This was a really good episode, Susan. I appreciate your time here as always. We will pick one of those categories out of the research tab on tech4health.ca for us to go through in our next episode, because our episodes are awesome. I thoroughly enjoy them. And then, if, as mentioned, if you are going to tech4health.ca and you are interested in starting your hydrogen journey, use the coupon code HydroGlow10. That's so that we know where you came from, so that we can continue to expand and evolve our ways of educating people on this incredible, amazing molecule that can help you and your animals in so many different ways. So, as mentioned, this is all for today. I am the H2 Water expert, co-founder of Tech for Health. Susan, you are the owner of HydroGlow Head Spa in Toronto, Ontario. Highly recommend going and meeting up with and checking out what Susan is doing there. I know the second I get into Toronto, I'm going to be going and getting some head spa treatments from you. So until next time, I will remind you that if you don't filter your water, you become the filter for your water. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you next time.